a show that tackles the big issues affecting the BVI and the rest of the Caribbean. Searches for answers to today's big questions and gives viewers a unique perspective on developing stories. Follow the big story with me, Kathy Richards, only on JTV. This show is brought to you by the National Bank of the Virgin Islands, Cyril B. Ramney Tertola Pier Park, NV Salon Spa Nail and Barbershop, the Wellness Center, Medical and Behavioral Health Clinics, Ticely Cross Deliciously Smooth Cider, HOV Medical and Digicel, simply more speed, reliability and entertainment.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.
On this edition of The Big Story, the discussion about the ferry commute for Anegada has not lost wings. Recently, as the discussion became more topical, with the management of Anegada Express announcing that they are no longer providing the service, we spoke with two legislators who are very close to the people of Anegada. Their district representative, Honorable Vincent O. Wheatley, and Junior Minister for Trade and Economic Development, Territorial at-Large Representative, Honorable Sharina Flax Charles. Honorable Whitley, thank you so much for taking this quick short break to speak with me on this matter, because it's of concern to the people of Anegada and also those who love going to Anegada. This issue where we saw last night that Anegada Ferries
Anegada Express, yeah.
Anegada Express has decided no more. They're not doing any further commute via their ferries to and out of Anegada. Could you tell us the situation to your understanding?
Well, Kathy, I saw it just like you did. By the way, good morning and thanks for having me. It's quite unfortunate that the situation worked out in a way that they didn't see it possible or feasible for them to do this run. Connecting Anegada to the rest of the BVI, it is so important for the Anegada economy. So I'm really heartbroken that there's one less ferry now going to Anegada, 2 or 3 less days of processing going to Anegada. I've always said, the more ferries going to Anegada at a more affordable rate, the better Anegada will do. Anegada has been kind of rediscovered, so to speak. And a lot of persons are trying to get to Anegada by air, by ferry. You'd have heard me say in the house last time, how come we have no international flights to Anegada? People want to get there, they want to get there affordably, they want to get there conveniently. So having one less ferry is from East End so important. This one from Chelis Bay was a very convenient, particularly for Eastern persons. If you live in East End and want to go to Anegada, you drive all the way into Road Town now to get a ferry to come back to Anegada. It's very inconvenient. Now, the other 2 ferries are subsidized by government. And I for the life of me, I can't understand why they didn't see where it's subsidized. And this one also, I tried my very best to lobby to subsidize the ferry service. We had promises after promises. At the end of the day, I cannot blame Anegada Express for pulling out. They went beyond and above what any private person could have done to survive for the sake of Anegada. We're going to put it to rest for now, just for a little bit, but I want to pick this back up because I understand the importance of getting persons to Anegada. If even between Anegada and Virgin-Gada, we have to create that stronger link between Anegada and Virgin-Gada, and I'm fully committed to making sure this happens.
But why would you want to put it to rest for now?
Well, we're in a house. I mean today. Because we're in a house today, so I have to take care of this business today.
Okay, but quickly for me, you said that you would have been lobbying. You are not only the district representative, but you are one of those who would have sat in the cabinet of the Virgin Islands for 3 years of this term. Why weren't you able to get this done?
Because the Minister of Finance was his final decision to make. I cannot decide how money is spent. I can make a proposal, I can lobby, but if I can't get the Minister of Finance or the finance team to understand the importance, maybe the lobby had enough. But the importance of this thing to the Anegada people and to me, it is, we have to get it done. Lessening the trips to Anegada. I remember one time when it was 5 days a week, those were the glory days. Or planes regularly, those are the glory days. We have to figure out, put our heads together and figure out how to bring those days back. When Anegada has frequent, not only for the tourists, but persons who are ill, persons who want to do shopping and so forth. So getting a connection is of paramount importance to me and to the people of Anegada. We have to get this fixed. We have no choice. We have to fix it, and we will fix it.
But do you have the feeling that those who are not resident or do not commute regularly to Anegada does not have a quite understanding of the dynamics of this and to see the urgency of it?
It's not an understanding, it's an appreciation. When you live on a sister island, when you live there and you go through the reality of living on a sister island, you have a different appreciation. If you don't live there, you can empathize, but you really have no real deep appreciation.
Or even if you frequent. I frequent and I have an appreciation.
Or if you frequent. Sometimes I want to go to Anegada, there's no ferry. I have to charter a boat. I could afford to do that, but most persons can't afford to charter a boat just to go to Anegada to spend money. So yeah, it's a major inconvenience, not only for the representatives, also for the people who live there. Emergency evacuations, tourism. We have to fix this. We have no choice. We have to fix it. Everybody's saying subsidy. Subsidy is one option. I'm not sure it's the only option. We need to sit around a round table, all the stakeholders, and come up with a viable solution to this problem. It's a very serious problem, and it can't go ignored. We have to fix this problem one way or the other.
Were you able in any way to lobby with this current administration, the Government of National Unity?
Well, when we had the last meeting in Anegada, the last thing that was said, they're going to put Anegada Transport out to tender. I was excited about that because it then meant we could put the parameters in that we wanted for our ferry service in terms of how much do you charge per passenger, how much do you charge for cargo, how frequently do you run, and blah, 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 on and on. It never materialized. I don't control the tendering process. I'm not sure why it didn't happen. I can ask a question, which I definitely will. Once we get through the House today, I want to be focused 100% on this particular issue. It cannot go to rest, it cannot fall by the wayside. It is too important to Anegada's development for this to fall by the wayside.
Okay, what assurance do you give the people of Anegada in this moment because they're not happy?
I wouldn't be happy either. I could assure them I'm behind this here 100%. I'm going to give it all I have to make sure this problem is remedied once and for all. One way or the other, we're going to make this work. We're going to put all our minds and hands together. We're going to come up with a solution, workable and sustainable. That's my commitment.
Honorable Shireen Flax Charles, the conversation has risen again about commute to and from Anegada as it relates to the ferry services. Now we would have learned from Anegada Express that they're no longer providing that service to Anegada, and it comes as a very hard blow to the people. I know that you're one who frequent Anegada. Tell me your thoughts on what's going on.
Well, Cathy, thank you for having me. It is quite unfortunate what has transpired with the Anegada Express. I will say to you, Cathy, I've been going to Anegada literally for 20 plus years, almost every week. I just came from Anegada on Wednesday, and the previous week I was there on Friday. And it is something that is needed in the British Virgin Islands community. All over the world, transportation is subsidized. Anegada should not be in a position to not have ferry service 7 days a week like the other islands. I have lobbied. I think, Cathy, the only thing that I have not done is to crawl on my knees and kiss the feet of the Premier and the ministers and everybody else who can make the decisions. I know that proposals have been put on the table, and I have lobbied and lobbied. And not because Anegada only has 300 plus people or 157 votes means that they are less of a citizen than anybody else on any other island in the BVI. All of us are equal. And Cathy, I remember nights when I came from Anegada, getting to Virgin Gorda at 9 p.m. We need to incorporate the other ferry companies. I've had talks with the Sea Express as well, who both the Sea Express and the Anegada Express are willing to go on these runs. If we look at travel within the United States, a lot of the airlines are subsidized, the trains, etc. And we cannot look at the people from one island to the next and determine that it is not important for them to have that service. Let's look at it from the tourism standpoint, Cathy. After 2017, the hurricanes, a decision was made by the BVI Tourist Board Director Sharon Flax Brutus that we must get Anegada up and running because Anegada got the least amount of damage. Right now, every time you go to that harbor, there are close to 80 boats. There are persons coming on the ferry in droves. There are persons that want to go to Anegada on a Tuesday, that want to go on a Thursday or a Saturday, and they cannot get to Anegada. Anegadians need to come, whether to Virgin Gorda or to Tortola, to conduct business. And so something has to be done to ensure that happens. And I've been talking with the Anegadians. They tell me their stories every week. They call me on the telephone as well. And the time has come for government to set their priorities straight and get service into Anegada on a daily basis. When I first got elected, I asked to look at those contracts that the two ferry companies had. Those contracts, at that time, I was told had expired. And I believe that those other two ferry companies, Smith's Ferry and the Rotang Fast Ferry, have been on good faith. And because they care about the people of Anegada and the BVI, that they have continued those runs without a contract in good faith that they will be paid. And they deserve to be paid because they do a lot. But more is needed in terms of transportation. And I think if those four companies were to work together, put a schedule together to service Anegada 7 days a week, it would make a lot of sense. Because let's be realistic, Kathy. Each company does not have, in my opinion, the amount of ferries necessary for one or two of them to do it 7 days a week. So we need to pool our resources together. And we need to make sure that we have our priorities straight. And as you know, and a lot of people in the BVI know, some islands are shortchanged. And those islands need to be represented and represented properly.
Okay. The people are saying that they're fed up with the talk. I hear I talk about this, and they need action.
Well, Kathy, let me tell you, I just said to you, as a junior minister and a backbencher, I cannot sign a document to authorize a subsidy for these ferries. The only thing I can do by law is to write and to actually literally talk. My voice is very hoarse right now because I'm talking and I'm talking and I'm tired of talking and nothing gets done. I don't know what the challenge is, but Anegadians deserve better. And commerce can be created again now between Anegada and Virgin as well. And you don't really have that connection. You had a small bit of that when the Anegada Express ran. But I too, Kathy, am tired of the talking. I am always about action. But we must understand the system of government that we have as a backbencher. As a junior minister, you don't have those powers. And sometimes you get a little leeway to help to do something. And the minute that persons feel that you are getting something done, they start to pull that rein back in. But it has to be about the people, Kathy. And right now, the people of Anegada need to have that service to be able to go back and forth. There's even the challenge with getting cargo for their businesses sent over to Anegada. You have the periodic badge, but it is very difficult, especially with perishables, if you only have a badge that runs once a week or once every 2 weeks. So something has to be done. The talk has to stop and give Anegadians what they deserve, and that is 7 day a week ferry service, and it is doable. Let's get all the players around the table. But Kathy, the system of government that we have, and I've said it on many an occasion in the House as well as at the Constitutional Review Committee meetings that I've been to, you should not have a cabinet with only 5 members out of 13. You only need 3 votes for something to pass. The other 2 don't have to vote, or if they vote nay, the 3 carries. And so you have 3 people on many of an occasion, I would believe, making the decisions for the entire territory. And it's not about myself wanting quote-unquote power. It is about wanting what is best for the country. And if we have 3 people, which is the majority in cabinet, because the governor sits but doesn't vote. By law, he cannot vote. So we need to fix that so that Anegada, Virgin Gorda, Jas Van Dyke, Tortola, and there are other islands within the chain that have persons who vote and who we represent, so that all of those, everybody can get equal representation, because as it is now, that is not what is happening. We need more voices, because I get up on a regular and lobby for the sister islands. I lobby for Tortola as well, but a lot of times it's on deaf ears.
The other thing, you have been sitting under two government during this term of you being an elected officer. Talk to us about your representation on this very issue to both administrations.
Well, I've done it, Cathy. Everybody knows that I'm very consistent with what I do. And I've done it across both administrations. Up to last week, or the week before, I was on the phone with persons in the Premier's office asking questions about this very said issue. And the answers, most of the times, are not forthcoming. It would seem that it is not the will to really move something like this forward. But of course, Cathy, I believe that every time I open my mouth about an issue, people make noise about it, but then you start to see the wheels turning. So if it is that I can only lobby verbally or in writing at this particular time, that is what I will do, and speak to persons like you so that the wider BVI community is able to understand what is happening. Because for me, I'm not here about Shireen, it's about the people. And in this particular case, the people of Anegada are suffering in more ways than one when it comes to transportation. And the lobbying cannot stop, but the persons who have the signing power to make something like this happen needs to listen to the people, listen to the cries of the people. And it has to be just about the people and bringing our country forward. The lack of ferry service to Anegada 7 days a week has created an economic deficit in Anegada, because those days that the ferry doesn't run, those businesses in Anegada lose money. They lose that potential money. And so something has to be done to fix it. And we have the facilities, we have the equipment here in the BVI. But on any given day, Anegada Express has 2 boats that are now sitting down, are floating. The Sea Express has 2 boats. They've been able to get on the St. Thomas run after, Cathy, I must say, a very hard fight. And I was involved in that fight, so I'm not going to give up. And their other boat, they have expressed an interest as well. Many, many times Mr. Maduro and I have spoken. And so I expect the fight to continue. And as they say, stock in season. So everybody on guard, and maybe something is going to happen, Cathy, because of this interview. Because I don't believe that persons are really, put yourself in the shoes of the Anegadian. Put yourself in the shoes of the persons that need to go to Anegada. Doctors have to go over, nurses have to go over, persons from when I was over on Wednesday, DMV, we need to have a system where they're not locked into 3 days alone to be able to go and do the work of the people. And Anegadians deserve better. And they deserve the best. They deserve just what everybody else in the BVI is getting and nothing less.
You said the people who have the signing power. Who are these people that have the signing power? Is it the ministers of government, or it is other administrative levels of people?
Well, at the end of the day, Cathy, the Minister of Finance would make the final decision. I know that there have been proposals sent for ferry companies that are interested in running to Anegada. It has been discussed many times, whether in caucus, spoken about in the House, spoken about one-on-one meetings with PSs, with persons in these ministries. And so they're aware. It's not they're not aware. And at the end of the day, monies need to be allocated in the budget for something like this. And there is a need, and so while the budget has already passed, we've gone into the House and passed SAPs. And this is something very important, and I would implore the Premier to look at it again. And if a SAP is coming before the dissolution of the House of Assembly, please think about making sure that the people of Anegada are able to travel freely through the BVI to conduct their business on a daily basis and not just 3 days a week.
We know that where you choose to bank matters, and it is your vote on what your funds do in strengthening our community. As your official Bank of Paradise, we invest and support the lifeblood of our economy by helping in the realization of personal goals for homeownership, education, and entrepreneurial visions, which support small businesses. We make it our place to connect with persons and worthy causes, and we have been doing so for more than 30 years. Where your money goes and what your dollars empower are your choice. And we thank you for choosing us, a bank that gives where it matters the most, for you, for our community, and a happier tomorrow. The National Bank of the Virgin Islands.
Everyone looks to the future, but no one truly knows what the future holds.
The number of people under the age of 20 with type 2 diabetes could increase by 49% by 2050. Let it be known that we all have a 30% chance of developing hypertension.
Globally, more than 300 million people of all ages suffer from depression.
More than 60,000 young adults aged 20 to 39 are diagnosed with cancer each year. Obesity leads to problems such as stroke, heart disease, and kidney failure.
No matter your race, age, or color, we are all at risk.
These diseases can be managed or prevented if caught early.
But with the right medicine and the right doctors to keep us on a path to live a robust and healthy life,
we will live well.
There are many ways to enjoy life, like so many ways to count on Popular.
Plug into Digicel Plus and get even more entertainment with Disney Plus included. The best of Disney, Pixar, Marvel, Star Wars, and National Geographic all in one place. Whenever you want, plug into Plus to enjoy Disney Plus and much more with a home fiber bundle. Sign up today. Digicel Plus.